In this video, I'll be sharing my top 5 Strava tips for mountain bikers. I really hope you enjoy it. This is the first video, new year, new challenge. Hit that like and subscribe button if you like what you see in the video, and make sure you hit the notifications bell so as you know when I upload a video. Let's jump into this video about my top 5 Strava tips for mountain bikers. So this is basically the screen that you're confronted with in Strava. You'll see my kind of pathetic mileage, the fact that I've done nothing this week, the fact that I did less than half what I planned for the year. Not been a good year for me riding wise, but hey ho, let's move on. So the first little tip that I want to share with you is all about finding downhill segments. Now I think that one of the best things that you can do with Strava itself is use the create route function on it and build your own routes. But a precursor to that, I think, as a mountain biker, is being able to filter. If you don't know how to filter and show just downhill segments, then you've not really got a very good start point. So in this view now, we're in the kind of route creator. We put like a point down in a minute and then create a route based on just the footpaths and stuff that you can see. But like I say, the precursor to that is if you go to this tab over here, what you have here is if you slide this all the way to HC, these are the ridiculous climbs. If you look, there's a 12.5 mile climb there at 5.1%. These are all the kind of long, big climbs. If you scroll it further down, you get the less severe ground, like the category 1 and category 2 climbs, 6.1 miles at 6%. But if you go all the way to the other end here, uncategorized, it basically gives you all of the downhill segments. Now, if you're zoomed out like this, what you'll likely see is the road segments. Strava is built for roadies, and as such, if you're zoomed out and looking at it from afar, it will show you all of the downhill sort of road segments, or up if you haven't filtered it, uphill segments. So you really have to zoom in to find where you're riding. Now I know for a fact most of my riding happens in between Capolera and kind of Trevelez as well. I go over there a bit, but if I zoom right into this part here, I know that there's some of my favourite downhill sections here. So if I hit refresh, it should bring some of them up. So straight away we've got this one here, J, which is Demoralizer, which I know very well. If we zoom in a little bit again, hit refresh again, it's going to find some more. So now we've got this one here as well, this F, which is Troccha, I think that's how you say that. So basically this is just a way of filtering the Strava segment so as it only shows the downhill segments, and then what you can do is you can build your ride around these downhill segments, if you know what I mean. So now that we know how to filter so as it shows just the downhill segments, so downhill sections that you're almost guaranteed to get, let's have a look at how I prospect for trails. So tip number 2 is how to prospect for trails. So the way I do it is, if you look at it in this view, so if I get rid of that because we've already got the segments up, so if I look at creating a route in here somewhere, if you go to this button here, you can change between satellite mode and kind of like a standard mode as well. Now with satellite mode, it still shows up where the footpaths are that are proper footpaths and stuff like that, but it also shows you little bits and pieces that might not show up on a map. Now you've got to, anything that doesn't show up on the OSM or standard map as having like a yellow trail at least, which is underneath this segment here, or these white trails, then it won't build you a route on it. If you're in satellite mode looking at trails that aren't mapped out at all, like this one here might be one, or it might just be a river that runs down the mountain, if you start building the trail in here, you have to use manual mode, and it warns you about manual mode, and then you can build a trail coming down here, but you do that at your own risk, because that might not be a trail, it might be someone's driveway, it might be a riverbed, it could be anything. So you've got to use manual mode with a little bit of, just a bit of common sense. The benefit of sticking to OSM mode is it shows you where actual footpaths are. Now sometimes you can't always plot routes down these yellow ones, but a lot of the time you can. So if I say that our route is going to start here, we'll go down there, which is plotting down to the bottom of that segment. Look, there's another downhill segment there. If you want to look up the segment, you can either just click on it and say, oh yeah, minus 19.5, 0.3 miles, that's pretty steep, pretty full on. Yeah, we'll give that one a go. And again, just plot your route down it. And then what you can do is, if you zoom out, not that far, if you zoom out and give yourself a look at the trail, you can then you know, create yourself a route that climbs yourself back up, but perhaps without killing yourself. Just again, use a bit of common sense in the way that you do this. You might want to, we might say, we'll go that way, we'll go that way, we'll go that way, we'll go that way, we'll go up and around. That's actually, see these bits here, you've got to be a bit careful of. See, there's a gap there showing. If you go over to satellite mode again, you might see that it all joins up. Sorry for my slow internet. Yeah, so you might see that it all joins up. So if I zoom out a little bit, we can see that it's kind of going past this person's property here, but there's going to be a way through there. So if we go back into OSM mode, you can pretty much guarantee that you're going to be able to get to the end of that driveway. Click it in manual mode and just stick yourself across on there. And then you should be able to just carry on building your route using normal mode again. So what we'll do is we'll zoom back out, and again you can just carry on building your route like this. So you might weave your way back up the mountain again up to here, try and find your way back up onto this path, and then go down there. I know for a fact it's even better to drop halfway down, do a loop, drop down that one, do another loop, drop down that one, and then come back to this one here, which I think is Choctaw, and go all the way down to the bottom and then back to my house. So that's just a little way of how you prospect for routes. And then if we exit that one, this is just a little part of Strava that a lot of people don't know about. It's called your parts tracker. Make sure you use it because it's really cool. If you go to your profile, scroll down until you get to your bike, make sure that you put your bikes onto these things. It's your gear. So my current bike is my Canyon Strive. Click on that, and then what you can do in here is you can add parts. So if you look, obviously I've put my frame in as a part, that's got the same amount of miles on it as the bike. My current front tyre has got 225 miles on it. It's actually got more than that because I don't Strava my bike park days, which I've done quite a few of. Rear tyre. And what you do is you basically add a component, and you can add a component, so I could add a chain now, and I know that my chain's been on there since the beginning, so I could add it since the beginning. I'll call it just a SRAM chain. I won't put the model number in there, and I'll save it. Model required. Okay, so SRAM X01, which I know it's not, but anyway, we'll put that in. Weight, we'll call it £1. Save. What that's now done is it's put a chain in there, but it's put the actual miles on it, so you can fit anything into this little table, and it will work out the exact mileage that it's got on it. So you can see that one of my rear tyres I only got 142 miles out of my Aggressor because the sidewall split. My MT5 brake pads, I got 225 miles. Again, it's more than that because I did some bike park days with those pads on. But again, it just gives you a really good idea and helps you track how long bits and pieces on your bike are lasting, and I just think that's really cool. So my third tip is just to make sure you're using your components tracker, parts tracker. And if you go back to my profile again, my fourth tip is to make sure you're setting yourself goals. So if you go to goals here in your cycling, click that little pencil, you can say that this year you want to, or this week I want to do 35 miles a week or 10 miles a week or whatever it is. And then if you do kind of a rough calculation in your head, say that adds up, and give yourself a few weeks off here and there. Give yourself like a yearly challenge as well by setting yourself these goals like I have there. Even though I've not done so well on mine this year, it's just a way of making yourself feel a bit guilty and get out on the bike a little bit more often and just track it. It's quite satisfying when you hit these goals and actually achieve them. So make sure you use your goals. And then my fifth tip is challenges. I think a lot of people don't bother looking at these challenges, and what I'll do is I'll join a few for January to show you how they work. But basically they have lots of running challenges, lots of riding challenges, and if you go to the January ones, there's a cycling climbing challenge. Now these are pretty much geared for roadies, but again, this says 7,500 meters. That's more than doable on a mountain bike in a month, or you can just put it in there to again just track how you're getting on. So if I join that, what it basically does is it puts you then in like a big leaderboard, which isn't open on this one yet, but there's already 18,560 participants. If we have a look at one of the, so if we say December Grand Fondo, I should be able to see the leaderboard for that. It basically puts you in a massive leaderboard, and on here you can see that the longest ride is 514 kilometers. This Grand Fondo is supposed to be like a 100-kilometer ride, but it will put people in order of who's done the longest ride in one hit, and you get that kind of leaderboard for every single riding and running thing that you join, challenge that you join. So the January cycling distance, if we look at the December cycling distance, there should be some massive miles. So you can see that there's 126,000 almost participants. They've racked up over 47 million miles between each other, and the guy that's ridden the furthest out of everyone this month rode 8,000 miles. I'm assuming that this dude is doing some kind of competition or something, because that's insane. But yeah, this is what the Strava challenges are all about. Make sure you join some for January, because it's a great way of just keeping yourself motivated to ride. That's it, guys. That's my 5 Strava tips. I hope you enjoyed it. Make sure you hit the like and subscribe button below, so as we can start growing this channel, so as I can get some really cool tech and tips to you every week on Friday. Thanks a lot for watching, guys. Catch you later.